And chat, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to what may be the final stream of Pyre. I think I'm at the end of the game. I believe we've only got one, maybe two, cycles left to do. Liberation rites, I mean. Nothing new here. Let's talk to Sandra. Nothing? Alright, onwards we go. At dawn, your companions are prepared to depart. Everyone is silent. Your travels are to take you back to the Ridge of Goal, but soon after, the stars shall draw you here again. Alright, back to the starting point. See if there are any thought bubbles along the way. Obliterate that imp. Man, this is an expansive world. There's a lot to this game. And we're here. Alright, what are our choices? Bertrand has a hunch that may find something of value. Falcon Run may be passing through here with a special offer. Ooh. How much money have I got? Let's see what the special offer is. Here, in the sweeping plains of Blooming Pool, you encounter a familiar face, hawking his wares as always. He sidles right up to you. Oh, hey guys. Funny running into you out here. You guys alright? But anyways, I gotta say, do I got just the thing for you. Mint condition, and although I haven't seen it exactly, I'm really sure it's something good, okay? So, you want this thing or what? He's offering a sealed talisman. No telling what it is for certain, though you sense its power. Such an artifact would likely cost much more once on display. Oh, I don't have enough! You decline Falcon Run's offer, but he just shrugs and grins, as is his custom. That's okay, you guys, because somebody's gonna buy it anyways, so let's go find him, Dad. He goes on his way, whistling some sort of grating tune. You return to the wagon and consider which of your vocations to pursue. At least I can do that. Alright, mentor a companion. Guess we'll mentor Bertrude. Oh, right, it gives you yellow EXP as well. I should have done that with Volker. Volfred, not Volgar. Volgar's member of the RE4 Make speedrunning community. Alright, to the Ridge of Goal. Against Ignorius. Alright. Alright, where do I see the standings? Volfred's Planner. Rights till next liberation. 1. Oh, man. So we just do this one and then we have a liberation right. Okay. So we're going to be facing either the dissidents, the accusers, or the Pyre Hearts. I'm guessing we're going to face the dissidents. Wouldn't that be an interesting final boss? Alright, what's Falcon Ron got? Alright, Scribe Snuff and a bunch of Stardust. Okay. I have Ray, Tizo, Volfred, and Bertrude left. Only usable by Pamitha. So we'll sell that. Usable by Gilded, so we'll sell that. Alright, do we have any stuff we need upgrading? Rank 20 is the highest rank. Rank 20 is the highest rank. We could upgrade the Moon Crest. It has 3 levels to go. Militate's Tail is at the highest rank. Let's get a handful of Stardust.
You like those, Poppy.
%60 chance to return immediately. And there's nothing special going on in here? No, okay. Alright, let's commence the rite. By now, having to make preparations for the rites has become second nature to your companions. They go about the process efficiently, and, this time, in almost total silence. You cannot shake the sense that the routine shall not go on much longer. Ray approaches and confirms to you that the Nightwing's sigil is set. Everyone has their books and raiments, and the grounds are ready. Everything should be in order. The scribes, I think that they are out there still and watching over us. I know I do say that a lot. It's just, I really think it's true. I mean, I usually do. But how about we watch the stars together now, mister? You and Ray stand together in silence for a time, looking for the stars above to show some indication that the rite is to commence. It is taking too long. Concern begins to well up in you. But then... Oh, duh, Orlek's going to be the final boss. What am I talking about? Let's go.
Reader, it seems the stars once more have mustered wherewithal to usher in the rites. The sky grows dimmer by the day. An age is ending. Surely you must know by now that you shall never all be free. Yet still you struggle to fulfill some senseless plan. But I digress, of course. Some of us still honor the tradition. Some of us hold dear the teachings of the scribes.
Alright, they've only got 100 HP. Cool. The pyres on each side are burning bright. From across the field, you observe the leader of the Tempers approach and remove his mask. There they are, huh? Come to show us up for one last time, I guess. Used to be we could take these Nightwings any old night, but now it ain't so simple anymore. We got this one last shot against these guys. Might as well give it all we've got, yeah? Let's make 'em cry.
Choose now your band of traitors.
That's a good line. We're going to save Tizo because I don't know if he's going to be... I don't know if there's anybody who's going to be... banishment sickness. So we're going to save Tizo for the liberation rite. So, Ray?
Ray.
Volfred?
Volfred.
And Bertrude.
Predictably decided.
Our adversaries of the Tempers. If this is to be our final confrontation against them, then let us show them our true power, here and now. Nightwings, thought I'd mention. After this right's over, I'm calling it quits. So do old Iggy a solid and make me work for this one like I used to.
Begin. Quite the turn of events.
Alright, raise in. Oh, they have extra pyre health. Okay. Bertrude, you're up.
Simply monstrous.
Damn. Alright, Bertrude's in.
Let's see you Nightwings keep this up.
Ray's in.
Thus to greater glory. The demons banished.
Bertrude's in.
Name of Solim.
Two more. Ugh. Well, this ain't going all that good. I gotta give you that. You damn Nightwings got me sweating over here.
Oh, the fading glory of the great Ignarius.
Oh, Ignarius was covering it.
Eating brute. Alas.
Oh, their worm got me. Alright, well that gets me Ray back. Whoops. Damn.
Why, that was all of them. And it is done.
Got him.
The Nightwings prevail. They vastly outperformed their adversaries. The right is done.
Hell yeah. The scribes. I knew that they would favor us, I think. Although I hope that they show mercy to the Tempers, too. Well done, Nightwings. As for the Tempers, though they fought us fiercely many times, I doubt that it shall be enough. May they find mercy in this land. Ye Tempers, ye conducted here with such fury and such desperation that we must commend ye for it, despite the outcome which hath favored us. Hey, Tempers, always wanted to go out on top, but thinking it's time we called it. Come on, let's go drink to this. Got something I've been saving just for a special occasion. Sorry, Ignarius. You weren't getting out of here anyway.
The rights do tend to teach something of trust.
Volfred leveled.
Is it you recall there, Volfred, my old friend?
Alright, what are we doing? Shield ability. +5 hope. Sapling shall automatically spawn near his pyre until he returns. Oh, we're going for Miracle Kindling. Right. I'll give him +5 hope. Bertrude, not quite to level 5. Damn. She's not going to make it before we have to send her on her way.
I eagerly await our next such outing.
Inside the wagon, after besting the tempers, Wolfred is discussing aspects of the outcome with the others when the lone minstrel seeks you out. Pardon the interruption, reader, though I need to ask a moment of your time while the night is clear enough for you to see. Please, come have a look outside. Perhaps the news of your next destination may further stir the hearts of your companions. Among what stars yet remain shining in the night, one of them now burns as bright as ever you have seen. The path to freedom calls you once again. Yep, directly to Solium. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. Alright. So it's either going to be the Dissidents or the Accused. Oh, it's going to be the Dissidents, because they have the better record. So we'll probably face the Dissidents in this cycle, and then with our final team, we'll face Orlek. Which is going to be appropriate, because Wolfred's going to be on it. I got really good? Thank you. The cycle turns even more quickly now, until such time as it shall shudder to a halt. He makes a sound then, almost like a laugh. I forget myself, reader. I should not say such things. The scribes, they would say that one ought focus on the path in front of him. When we set forth to walk a long and labored path, it can be all too much if we stand back and look upon it as a whole. We may well decide to turn around. But if we begin to walk, whilst casting down our gaze, and whilst resisting well the urge to look too far ahead, we may make steady, careful progress. Soon enough we may arrive where we endeavored. The lone minstrel bids you a good evening. You had best retire for the night, for when first daylight comes, it shall be time again to take to the skies. So, Jojo, if I finish this today in like 2 hours, do you have something else you want me to play today, or should we just save it for next time? Because you've got 4 hours today, plus an hour I owe you. And then you have 4 hours later in the month. You don't have anything prepared yet. Fair enough. Oh, cutscene. Oh, hello. Your wagon reels from the impact of some sort of massive object slamming into it mid-flight. False Nightwings. Orlek calls down to all of you from atop his wagon. Again you seek to climb that cursed mountain beneath us. Again you seek to take my rightful place. I should send you crashing down to it, that you might fall as I have. Oh, are we facing Orlek now? He stares down at all of you. But I shall not. Rather, we shall meet upon the summit, ere the last cycle of the rites is ended. Until then. Wait, am I about to do the final boss, or do I have one more cycle? Bertrand shall gain favor from the scribes. Volfred shall gain favor from the scribes. We're gonna send Bertrand home. This time. So Bertrand shall gain favor from the scribes. You make landing on the sacred Mount Elodial after your encounter with Orlek. Orlek spoke the truth. He has a right to gain the summit. When the time comes, Celeste shall deem him worthy and shall let him pass. While he has transgressed against the rites, he has also already been anointed and prevailed. Nothing is written in the book on this, and liberty ought already be his. For the time, it seems that he has not yet traveled to the summit. Perhaps he is still making preparations with his fellow exiles. Okay, so it's next cycle that we'll be facing Orlek, the final one, with only 3 people left. When exactly Orlek intends to make good on his promise, he did not make clear. For now, you are to confront Barker and the dissidents upon the summit, but first, you may prepare. The Beyonder Crystal seeks Volfred. It's about time. I can talk to her finally. Please, reader, leave me be. I ask that you leave me be. Go about your business. Go, watch the stars die out and get your idiots their freedom. And you be sure to tell that herald with whom you consort that Sandra the Unseeing did her job. You tell him that. Perhaps that way he shall put in a good word, and the scribes shall finally provide for me a bit of reprieve. She falls silent for a time. I do not know what else to do, reader. But you remain with her, letting her draw whatever strength and comfort from your thoughts as you are able to afford. That was kind of you. However, let us conduct our business. I care not for your pity. Do not come visit me again like this without my asking. I insist. I will get the scribe trial for Volfred. You ask Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Volfred. That fancy-talking sap, you mean? I shall be interested to see if he has learned something since last we sparred like this. Then let us bring him forth. Soon Volfred appears in heed of the summons. So it is my turn then, is it? Then let us see what we can do, my boy. The apparition Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, Sap. You answer to me here. I think he knows the deal, Sandra. As you will, O Sandra the Unseeing. Proper as ever, then. Though I wonder if you have the wherewithal that you project. Show me, then, what you can do without the benefit of those whom you would lead. And let us see if you and your lovely reader have reached a thorough understanding as of yet. Alright, a demon, a sap, and a human. Was too far away. Damn it! I suck with Volfred. Wow, I suck with Volfred. Oh, almost had it. Got it. Okay. I need to hit it one more time. Got it. Okay. That was rough. I suck with Wolfred. I am grateful for the privilege of your time, good Sandra. Flattery shall never get you anywhere with me, sap. Nonetheless, your performance was sufficient, and you passed my test. Thus, congratulations are in order, to you and to your lovely reader. Now, farewell. I had not seen that Sandra in some time. She has not changed a bit. But it would seem she left something for us, did she? Lose bow. Wolfred's blink ability transports him farther than usual, plus 50%. Ooh, okay. Do I want him to teleport farther, or do I want him to come back, have a chance to come back immediately? We'll try lose bow. We'll level it up, too. Seek the Worm Scribe's favor. Later that afternoon, you accompany Bertrude through the old masonry of Temple Cistern to the monument of Under King Ores. We do not fear ye, ancient gods, ye who cannot even keep the stars illuminated in the dark. We do not fear what is to come. We do not fear for our companions. We do not fear our adversaries. We do not fear the Commonwealth, or fear for it. And we do not fear for us. You return to the wagon after she has finished paying her respects. There wasn't much respect in that. The summit awaits, but first there is time to continue practicing your vocations. Bertrand gained glory for the right. Hell yeah. Let's get Wolfred some EXP. Alright, not quite there. I can't see behind his head. Needed for next rank, 800. Alright, on we go. To Scribe's Gate. Deep in the sheer cliffs of Mount Elodio, you find a messenger imp looking to bring you the latest news and rumors from the other side. This time around, the imp brings tidings of Sir Gilman and what happened to him since his liberation at the fall of Solium, when, at last, his self-imposed exile came to an end. You learn that his return to the Commonwealth was met with much rejoicing, and that, before long, he was promoted to the rank of Veiled Captain on the Blood Border. And yet, with tears welling in his eye, he did refuse the post, stating he no longer had the heart to fight against the High-Wing remnants as he once did. He then cast down his helmet, and when next anyone saw him, he was among Wolfred's agents, having joined the revolution to reshape the Commonwealth from within. You thank the messenger imp for the report and salute it crisply, as surely Gilman would have. Soon the news has everyone in the wagon talking. Do you think that one day I can be as brave as him? Because I don't always think I can. Ugh. The tears he shed ought to have been bottled and thus set aside for use in various salves. Noble Gilman made the gallant choice, it seems. Our plan comes closer to fruition through his good example and support. Tizo feels inspired by the news of Gilman's selfless actions. The news of Gilman's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with newfound resolve. Hope? Your companions gain +1 hope for the next rite. Excellent. You are returned once more to Scribe's Gate, where the Gate Guardian awaits under a dim sky. The exiles of the Nightwings, and you, Tariq. This is to be one of our final meetings. Greetings, Celeste. The Nightwings are prepared, and afterwards I would have words with you, in private, if you please. It seems to be rather late for words now, Tariq, but I shall hear them once your charges cross the gate. Now, all of you, come forth. Please state your names and what is it that you seek whilst crossing Scribe's Gate. Once more your companions cross the gate, one after another, and once more you follow them in turn. Celeste regards you all, then waves you through toward the summit. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. And Tariq? I, Celeste? You may rejoin the others in a while. For now, I would hear those words of yours. Now's your chance, Tariq. Certainly, Celeste. Everyone, I shall see you shortly. Ever Dark to Soul or Elden Ring? I played a couple hours of Elden Ring on stream last year. It didn't really grab me. I'll play it if you want me to, but I don't have a ton of interest in it. Oh, song. Let's listen to this for a sec. Alright, what do we got? We've got permanent presents. We've got permanent presents that we're going to buy. Do we give that to Volfred or Ray? Because Tizo doesn't need it. His is pretty small. And I guess we'll buy all 3 of these to level up Volfred's talisman. Yeah, we'll give the presents to Volfred. Page is revealed. Cool. Any strategy games in mind? I've been meaning to try XCOM 2 at some point, and I picked up Marvel's Midnight Suns on sale a few weeks back. So, if those are the kind of strategy games you're thinking of... Oh, that was Quiet Man, not JoJo. Okay. Never mind. Wolfred, +1 presence. And double blink distance. Cool. Alright, let's do some reading. Downside diseases, in the words of Jomir Melimane, the Alpha Chief. Ailments in the downside often give no warning when they strike. Those who keep moving and make no attempt to settle, they reduce their risks. The afflictions come in multiple varieties. In the bogs of flagging hands, a pallor tends to sink into the skin, and then into the mind. The nauseating sea of solace north of there is difficult for some to tolerate. Very hot or very cold environs bring their own specific side effects. My coat is not as lustrous now. My fangs are long. Like all aspects of the downside, all these ailments share a purpose: to test your body, mind, and spirit. They only appear to harm. Accept them, surpass them, move on. Foraged findings, in the words of Jomir Melimane, the Alpha Chief. There is a simple pleasure to be found in foraging about this place. Easy for a cur to say, of course. Though barren-looking to the naked eye, the downside has its share of semi-hidden treasures waiting to be found. It was a nose for treasure, after all, which drew us here. Certain types of artifacts found in this place would fetch a reasonable sum in soul, whether because they shine with inner light or due to other special properties. I have observed that stardust, freshly fallen from the heavens, sometimes glimmers in the afternoons. I have not found a use for it as yet, although, because it brings me faith, perhaps I have indeed. Slug markets, in the words of Jomir Melimane, the Alpha Chief. There are natives in this land with some capacity for thought and oddly keen instinct for the mercantile. Suspicious creatures, but not disagreeable entirely. From time to time we make exchange with them. They lust for coins, for the imperial soul, though why they do not say. We speculate it is a delicacy. It serves us little purpose here, whilst their slug market wares are sometimes valuable. The creatures appear drawn to places where the heavens shine the brightest, perhaps because they know we are as well. What they want exactly is unclear. We taught them of our lands, yet they remain preoccupied with simpler things. All right. Let's do the second to last liberation rite. The time has come again to deliver one of your fellow exiles to a homecoming in the Commonwealth, lest your adversaries, the dissidents, achieve the same instead. The lone minstrel has returned and approaches as you await the signal from the stars. There is something that I wish to ask you, reader, something which, ordinarily, would not be my place to discuss in any detail. You have observed the stars. If you would not mind my asking you in such a direct manner, how many liberation rites are you supposing yet remain? Two remain, including this one now. You tell him the only logical deduction which you have been able to make based on all of your readings of the stars of late, that there shall be one final liberation rite after tonight. I concur with your evaluation, reader, sir. I wished to make certain that you were aware, so that you and the Nightwings may yet make the most of your remaining time together thus. As to what shall happen once the final liberation rite is ended, we soon shall both find out. But lo, it seems that we are called upon once more. Look forth. Alright, time to face the Doge team.
Reader, I would ask that you think back for just a moment, if you please. When you first looked upon the Book of Rites, think back upon the words that it revealed. Oblige the voice that tells you more. Oblige the voice that tells you more.
I'm not listening to you at all.
The scribes were here among us still. I would not sing your praises to them, rest assured. I trust that you shall savor this occasion. You shan't have to oblige me for much longer.
The pyres burn, and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. I concur. The pyres burn, and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. Then, anointed one of the dissidents, come forth now and declare yourself, and pay any respects you have unto your adversaries, the Nightwings. Barker bursts out from some hidden corner, laughing as he paws at his mask. A real pleasure to be here, mates, truly. Barker Ashpaws. Call me Barker, though, all right? By the by, it was a real pisser getting here, you know. Begging your pardon, Barker Ashpaws. You thusly speak upon the summit of the sacred mountain. Oh my, so terribly sorry to offend you there, lassie. I forgot we got the stars above up there to make me watch me language. Though, let's get one thing straight, lassie. I don't give a bother for your sacred mountain, so you take it and you shove it. Is he going to get disqualified immediately? Me and my pack, we're here just for the laughs, you got that? The other side ain't any better than this one. We ain't interested in your freedom. But just the same, we're going to get it. Take it from those wee little babes there, so antsy for it. Hear that, you Nightwings? You better put up a good fight here, or I ain't going to be happy, understand? I am going to save scum this fight if I lose it. Then he shoves his mask back on. Right, come on then. Let's hurry up and get this damn thing started. Nightwings, your choice. In whose name shall you conduct this liberation rite? I wish you the wisdom of the scribes in making your choice, reader. And I wish you to come prepare our song with me, Tariq. Well, I'm keeping Ray and Tizo, so we're sending Bertrude home.
Bertrude.
Then now, perhaps, at last shall we return to whence we came, and there shall we resume our work, if truly we are to return.
Who shall strive for her?
All right. Ray.
Ray.
The scribes are watching over us, especially you, Miss Bertrude. And Tizo. Tizo is fired up to prevail in this liberation rite for Bertrude's sake.
Very well.
All right then, mates. No more waiting. No more holding back. And let's rip him to shreds. Let's go, let's go, let's go! Alright, well...
Commence.
Got him. This is going to be easy. I should have known this one would be easy. I thought they were going to be harder with them being fast. What in the... Alright, mates. Something's gone right funny with that orb, as I can tell. Better laugh it up while we still can, eh? Indeed, something strange seemed to have happened to the celestial orb. It shudders now, as though possessed of the same chaotic power as your adversaries. What's that mean?
And there it is. The blasted Nightwings proved their worth.
Hell yeah.
As for their adversaries, they did
So, what was that notification about? What changed about the ball?
Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus
Because I didn't deal with it long enough to find out.
chosen exile appointed by the Night Wings shall be
You don't know? Fair enough.
absolved of all misdeeds. Return to glory in the Commonwealth. Her adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
What a joke. Here I was thinking we were going to make him cry after all this. Come on, mates. I've right had it with this stuck-up place. So let's get out of here already, eh? Thy efforts seal our return. You're welcome. She then looks over to you. Reading one, surely thou must have known that we have little interest in returning to this place, to which we now return. Surely there are those among ye with a stronger preference to look upon its proud facades, which to our ancient eyes doth merely cause offence. It signifies one of two things, it seems. Either thou seekest to be rid of us, or, more likely, thou believest we shall serve the plan of Sandalwood at greater length in our newfound capacity. 82%. She looked at you again, intent. We think we know which one it is. Thy efforts seal our return. Then soon we shall resume our work in earnest. Perhaps we shall see ye again, or perhaps not. The shimmer pool whisks her within, as you hear her call out to you one final time. Until whichever outcome, reading one. Bertrude earned back her freedom. May she return in glory.
Godspeed, Bertrude. The cycle of the rites is nearly at an end.
Yeah, because we're not going to need it anymore. Ray and Tizo are already maxed. Wolfring did not take part. You returned to the wagon after having prevailed against the dissidents in the Liberation Rite. I had a good feeling this would happen. Tizo was pleased that Bertrude is finally free. You succeeded in liberating Bertrude, who returned to the Commonwealth in glory. The last light of the stars still shines for us above. At this point, what is to become of our plan needed to be the subject of our speculation. I trust that we'll learn the outcome soon enough. 89%. Our actions to this point shall pave the way, perhaps our faith as well. So let's for now focus on this. We stand upon the brink of the last turn of the cycle of the rites. Soon we'll have a final chance to get one of you home. Now, reader, up for a little stargazing? Let's see where in the downside we shall be returning for these final rites. You turn back toward the darkness to look upon the last few stars too stubborn to relinquish their light. Haub, Goal, Jomur. You guys probably can't hear it, but my housemate, who is a professional commentator for Rocket League, is doing a match right now and is shouting his ass off. Alright, so one more round and then the Liberation Rite. Alright, we can fight Lendl, we can fight Tamitha, or we can fight the Withdrawn. Why don't we fight Lendl? Yeah, let's fight Lendl. Once more, you are to face the accusers then. Although, I wonder. He hesitates before saying anything further. You cannot sense his thoughts. I apologize. I was lost in thought there for a moment. Let us make way for the cairn of Haub when everyone is feeling more refreshed, as much as possible. We can talk to the minstrel. Following Bertrude's liberation, the lone minstrel has returned to the wagon and stands as though nothing has happened here this night. He tilts his head a bit as you approach. Once more, the Nightwings have prevailed in the liberation rite under your mindfulness, reader, a commendable achievement. Surely Bertrude shall live out her days in gratitude to you and your companions. Perhaps she may now seek Pamitha there in your commonwealth. I should think Pamitha would have liked to witness what took place this night. I trust that, together, they shall make a formidable difference to the plan which all of you endeavor to achieve. Now, for the time, Celeste and I are to return to our respective stations. We all await the next turn of the cycle of the rites. May you prevail once more when next we traverse Scribe's Gate. Until then, reader, rest well under the stars. He nods and leaves you to recover after a long night. All right, what's in the Book of Rites? On legacy, in the words of Triesta Tithys, the Blessed Born. Reader, though you shall always bear a burden, it is much lighter than the burden of a lonesome exile. Go forth and become free. Then join with others such as you and lead with mercy, continuing to demonstrate your worth and knowing that the Empire's fall formed the foundation of our Commonwealth. You shall cease to be a reader and become a voice both to the free and to your successors here, who shall take up this book when you no longer need it. The cycle of the rites shall see to it that you and others like you shall be liberated ere the coming of another age. May the stars shine ever brightly on us all. I hope we all get to go home. All right, off we go. It is daybreak. You are to set forth now for the cairn of Haub for what appears to be the final time. Thereafter you shall return here for one last exile's final chance at liberty. Off we go. Any thought bubbles? We shall find out. Whoops. Sorry, Ignorius. To be fair, you launched into me. Hey, what's the big idea, huh? Oh, it's you Nightwings. Come to rub it in again, I guess. We Tempers, we've been trading flames with you. Who knows how long. So what? You got us once or twice lately. Matter of time before we go and get you back. I thought you were retiring, Ignorius. So, you might want to keep that in mind next time you go messing with these horns, hear me? Now get out of my sky. Alright, Lick Sand. Falcon Road may be passing through here with a special offer. I don't have the money for it. Wolfred has a hunch you may find something of value along this route. Alright. Well, let's go to Shunt then. Explore Shunt. Something about the stark badlands of Shunt gives Wolfred a strong intuition to explore the area. Together, you set out to take a look. I should like to join you for a stroll, my boy. There seems to be nothing in particular in the vicinity, but then Wolfred raises his voice. Why, what have we here? A departing gift, perhaps, from others such as we. The object in question is lodged deep in the ground and bears the mark of the rites. You sense you may be able to secure its contents, but the mystic wards will not be easy to undo. I will attempt to open it. You focus all your mental faculties on the mystic ward sealing the box's contents. Soon you are left exhausted, but the box's lid unfastens. Inside it is a talisman, placed there perhaps by one of your predecessors in the rites from ages past. Fairy Spirit. After bearer banishes an adversary, spawn a moon drop which briefly grants infinite stamina. Spawns up to 1 moon drop each 10 seconds. Oh. As fairies presumably do not exist, it is likely they came to no harm in its creation. Cute. Alright, can I do vocations? No, I can't. To the cairn of Haub. Alright, what you got for us, Ron?
Just simple kiwi voice.
It's plus 10 Stardust. Damn. Okay. Well, we're going to sell Milite's tail. How much do these cost? Okay, why don't we buy plus 4 quickness and use 2 of them on Volfred in the Liberation Rite. Big spender. Spend 1,000 soul in the slug market. Oh, cool. Oh, I'm at 51% of the trophy progress. Cool. Indigenous imps. Indigenous imps, in the words of Jomur Menimane, the Alpha Chief. Special mention must be given to the downside's most prolific native creature, which we call the imp. With all respects to our comrade, Haub, an imp himself, possessing of extraordinary intellect, most imps are driven by the simplest impulses: to eat, to drink, to procreate, to move, and to survive. These creatures, then, are symbols of this place. They are far more resilient than they seem. Though wild by their nature, they, like all of us, can learn. Haub insists that imps are willing to be put to work. Like other aspects of the downside, they wish more than to exist, but to exist with purpose. All right, Lendl. Lendl. After making all the necessary preparations amid the stark badlands of the cairn of Haub, you and your companions await the commencement of the rites. It is quieter even than usual at the onset of such events. The lone minstrel appears, bearing some sort of news. I have checked, and it appears as though the accusers have not yet arrived, reader, sir. There is no sign of Lendl, or anyone. Their sigil is not set either. Oh! Do I... Sorry about that. That's my text message notification. Do we not have to fight somebody here? And then we just go to the Liberation Rite to face Oralek? If what he says is true, and your adversaries are not present, then you presume the rite cannot commence. However, the stars themselves soon indicate you are mistaken. Do we face Oralek twice?
Commonwealth. Your home.
What about it?
Today it is aflame. Much like a stack of books.
Oh, the revolution's happening.
Flame. Because of you. Because of your outlandish plan. Not that you care. Not that you shall live to see this place again. Your attempts at revolution shan't succeed.
We'll see about that.
Though by all means, keep trying. As for myself, I shall enjoy presiding over these remaining rites.
There's no Pyre opposed to us. The rite is set to commence, but your adversaries, they have failed to show. By the scribes, they must have lost all hope. Indeed, as the rites are drawing to a close, some of the triumvirates whom you have met, perhaps they are beginning to decide the stars are not worth heeding any longer. Lendl, you wonder whether he would give up on the rites like that. He has never seemed the type. For all his bluster and anger, he seems single-minded about prevailing, about besting the Nightwings at any cost. I wonder if Orlek murdered them. In any case, we have begun the ceremony here, and so I ask that we end it.
Choose now your band of traitors.
Okay. So what is going to happen here?
Tizo. Volfred. With that out of the way,
Let us end this and be on our way. Conceding in the rites is frowned upon. Believe me, I should know.
lo, even your adversaries have abandoned you. And it is done. The Nightwings prevail by default. Not that their adversaries even care.
Prevail in a rate of no more than 3 dousings. Fair enough. I guess you get that by default here. By the scribes, is this truly what they wanted?
Boundless are the teachings of the scribes.
We got no EXP for that. Well, Volfred's not getting Miracle Kindling by the time we do the final liberation rite.
Now take your sordid business someplace.
Man, we're only an hour in and we're about to finish the game. Maybe I should have finished it last time. No one speaks further of the accusers back at the Black Wagon. Everyone is instead preoccupied with the rite that is to come. Is it true, then? This is going to be our last chance to go home? I'm afraid so. Our plan is an imperfect one, yet here we are, faced with this vital opportunity. Have you played any Advance Wars? Adder actually had me start Advance Wars last month, and is going to have me play some more of it this month. So I do have Advance Wars Reboot Camp, if that's what you want me to play. He looks over to you. Reader, my boy, please go see for yourself. I think we all know where we are headed next. And I suspect I know whom we shall face when we arrive. Actually, scratch that. If you do want me to play Advance Wars, can we schedule it for another day? Because Adder really wants to see me play Advance Wars, and I'd like to do it on a day when he can also attend. Is that okay? The others turn to you as well. You turn toward the wagon's door. You know what you shall see out there. Now, however, the time has come to face it. The dim and fading light of the final star still pierces through the darkness, demanding your attention, guiding you toward the end point of your path. You see plain the golden star of Solium. Look upon it for the last. Wow, they're all gone, and they're replaced with the Titan stars. Oh, that's cool. You are summoned to the fall of Solium for your seventh and final liberation rite. Thus shall the cycle of the rites be ended for an age. You sense that, if the rites ever shall commence again, it shall not be during your lifetime, or that of any of your companions, even the longest-lived ones. The stars reveal to you one thing more. The adversary whom you face shall be Orlek. Already he has crossed Scribe's Gate and awaits your arrival. If the 8 scribes created the Nightwings in their own likeness, perhaps it is only fitting that the Nightwings should, in the end, be forced to face themselves. Orlek, curse this damnable cycle, that it must pit us against him in this, our final chance. Let us retire for the night. We shall not have many chances more for rest before our journey's ended. The group disperses as exhaustion sets in. At dawn, you fly to Mount Elodial to make a final effort to achieve your plan and get somebody home. But who? Well, Tizo doesn't care about going to the Commonwealth. Ray, it would be nice for Ray to go, but she's happy out here where she can worship the scribes. And Volfred would help the plan and save a lot of people if he directed it and made it so that the revolution succeeded. So I guess we're sending Volfred back. Oh, they're all scratched off. Wow. Wow, I've done 25 rights. Wow. All right, off we go. We're going to do one more scan for
Foolish reader.
Oh, what you got to say for yourself?
Your so-called friends. You are accomplice to their hateful plot. They are exploiting you. You shall never have your freedom.
Well, I can't take part in the rites anyway, so how would I get my freedom? Well, actually, you got your freedom, despite being a reader. I guess the reader can swap in and let somebody else read, if there's a reader involved. By dawn, you are already up and about after a troubled slumber. The black wagon is prepared for its final voyage to the fall of Solium. No one speaks. Alright, we're going to look everywhere to see if there are any more thought bubbles. As you lift into the skies, the lone minstrel raises his voice, cutting through the somber mood. Reader, a certain olden ballad comes to mind just now. I think it may befit the circumstance. Perhaps it may help to pass the time along our flight. Would you mind it very much if I were to play this song for the Nightwings? Why would I say no? By all means. Let's see what you got. You urged the lone minstrel to play his ballad so that all among you might hear it. He begins without another word.
When the stars align, the rights shall come to bear. Illuminate the signs, the exiles shall be there.
Oh, this is the trailer music? Cool.
All are not the same, but three shall be as one.
Turn that up a little for you guys.
Flame, the end has just begun. Strength may break our but twisted make a braid. Together on their own, the journey shall be made. The journey shall be made.
That was pretty good. Alright, Temple Cistern. Volfred shall gain favor from the scribes. Oh, I can't zoom around. I'm stuck at... They forced me to normal movement speed. So that I would have to listen to the whole song. I was going to anyway, but... Ray or Volfred favor? Ray and Tizo don't really need it, so let's give favor to Volfred. You touch down amid the quiet solitude of Mount Elodial to make pilgrimage to the summit for one last time. There, one last liberation rite shall soon commence. There, one last exile shall regain his or her freedom. All others shall remain to carry out their sentences here in the downside for the remainder of their lives. And, in the Commonwealth, the plan of which you are a part shall either come to fruition or shall be suppressed. They're probably going to have a ton of HP to their Pyre. Alright, before we forget, let's give Volfred some quickness. So now he's almost as fast as Ray. Cool. Seek the Crone Scribe's favor. After having landed, you join Volfred on an expedition to the monument of Molten Milite for what is likely to be the final time. Hear me, O scribes. Long have I served your will, and long have I pursued the path which you revealed to me. Our plan now stands on a precipice. If we prevail this night, then we may yet achieve its goals. We would reform the Commonwealth under the auspices which you yourselves described within your book. As we shall stand together, so I ask that you please stand with us. By your divine grace, we may yet prevail. And please, have mercy on Orlek as well. Soon he is finished. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Molten Milite has shown you favor. At dawn, you shall begin your last ascent. For now, your vocations may occupy what little time you have to spare. Volfred gained +3 glory. Nice. We're going to train Volfred and get that just in time. Just in time, get that extra life. If Volfred's adversaries extinguish his Pyre, it is restored by 40 points instead. Hell yeah. I wonder if we'll need that. All right, off we go. To Scribe's Gate. A messenger imp traveled all the way to your location in the splendors of Mount Elodial to bring you the latest news and rumors from the other side. The imp brings tidings about Bertrude in particular, and what became of her since she was liberated at the fall of Solium. You learn she shrugged off all the pomp surrounding her return and retreated to her native home in the southern bogs. Thereafter, she proved difficult for the Commonwealth to reach. Each time officials came to her with various opportunities, she would curse them, then send them on their way. Finally, however, she met with certain guests of a different sort. She is now working with Volfred's sons and daughters of the Revolution putting messages to parchment and creating pigments that they use to spread their word and cause. She leaves a message for you personally. We shall be watching ye. Coming from her, you take it for a compliment. You thank the imp for bringing you these details as your companions gather to discuss. She must know everything. I could have learned so much from her, I think. I hope we'll see her again soon. My debt to you is finally repaid, O Bertrude, my old friend. Yet through your great wisdom, we might still achieve much more. Tizo expresses hope to one day visit Bertrude at her home in the southern bogs. The news of Bertrude's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with resolve. The messenger imp accepts a small bite to eat from you and heads off. +1 hope for everybody. You stand before the Scribe's Gate with your companions. The Gate Guardian is there, as ever, but you sense something different in her. The exiles of the Nightwings. We shall not meet again after the coming rite. Tariq and I, it shall be time we take our rest, I think. Greetings, Celeste. I would tell you that the Nightwings are prepared, though this time I am uncertain anyone amongst us feels thus. I'm ready. We have a duty to uphold, Tariq. And then what, Celeste? And then, nothing. Not for the rites, or us. Not till the dawn of a new age. Now, Nightwings, step forward. Please state your names and what it is that you seek whilst crossing Scribe's Gate. One by one, your fellow exiles approach her, now with sureness in their step. May I speak first? My name is Ray, and I am here because the scribes, this is the path that they have shown me, and all of us. I like it when they call to me. My name is Volfred Sandalwood. I long as yet to see an age where freedom is one's birthright, and no longer are good people such as these forced to contend for it. I like that in the final cycle everybody's introducing themselves once again. That's a good touch. Tizo believes that his ancestors are watching over the Nightwings, and seeks to live up to their legacy. Tizo, you're my MVP. You are absolutely living up to their legacy. Finally, you step forth once more. You, a crippled scholar who vowed to help his friends be free again, and who managed to come this far with this group. The Gate Guardian observes you for a moment, then motions past the archway toward the summit. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. Except for you, Tariq. You stay right there. I thought you said... The rites are not yet ended, Tariq. He looks to her, then over to the rest of you. No, it's cool, man. Go make out. Pardon me, everyone. I shall be there when the stars align. The Gate Guardian and the Lone Minstrel remain together as the rest of you depart. I'm sad that they're gonna go into hibernation when the rites end. I'm glad they get one final moment together. You have gained the summit of Mount Elodial for the 7th time, the final time in which any one of you shall have a chance to leave the downside. The Beyonder Crystal seeks you! Ooh! Cassandra! Thank you for visiting on such short notice, reader. I understand you have important matters to attend to. So, let me be blunt. Please, listen for a moment then. Do you want me to smash your crystal? I know this whole affair is coming to an end. All of it. I sense the binds that form the rites becoming weak. Which means, soon, you will not need me anymore. Not that you have needed me at any point, but still, my services will not be of any further use. If you're asking if I'll still visit you, you're a friend, Sandra. I would love to tell you that this means I shall be free from my eternal prison. For some of my Beyonders it shall be a release. My accomplices are bound by weaker words than those which have bound me. They shall fade away, I think, and finally rest. I, however, shall remain. She hesitates for a moment. Thus, I have a proposition for you. I do not know where you shall go from here, but I ask you to take me there, wherever it shall be. Absolutely. By that I mean, take this stone prison of mine, and keep it. Do not just leave it, as all your predecessors have, each time their stay among the Nightwings reached an end. Soon the Beyonder Crystal shall serve no use at all, except to keep me trapped. I am content to remain thus, for I have little choice, but I would prefer to do so in your company. Will I be able to visit you anymore? For I do enjoy your company, reader. This may not be much of a compliment, but I assure you that I much prefer your company to an eternity of solitude. I have no wish to see you gain in years, and to eventually decay whilst I remain unchanging. But I should rather have more years whilst having contact. Even if those years are to be brief, they shall afford me many more in which I might think back upon our times. Nor do I expect you to accommodate my needs, for I am well aware I have my limits in accommodating yours. This is super sad. I like this. That is to say, I wish you to go forth after this night, and live your life however you see fit, for your own sake. May all this rights business enrich your coming days somehow. And in considering that life after this night, if you think that there may be a place in it for me, however small, then, once again, I simply ask that you take me along. That way, should you ever wish to visit me again sometime, you could, and I would like to have that as an option more than not. My request here is a selfish one, for there is little I can offer in exchange, other than what little my companionship is worth. Perhaps I could lull you to sleep once in a while. Who knows? You could always try to sell the Beyonder Crystal for a reasonable sum somewhere, or something to that end. No, I would not. There must be someone out there with an interest in this thing. So then, you have heard my sad little proposition. What do you say? Agree and do it, of course. You grasp the Beyonder Crystal and set it into the folds of your clothing. Sandra senses this and makes a sound as though surprised. Thank you, reader. She is at a loss for a moment. Then, let us go then from this place. Go and face your last remaining adversaries. May you crush them under heel and achieve the outcome which you seek. I believe you shall prevail. Oh, what if they send me home and I get to take Sandra with me? She disappears into the stone for now. You took the Beyonder Crystal with you. Keep it with you. Man, oh man. Alright, Ron. Hey, guys. I guess you probably heard the big news, huh? Yeah, I'm going out of business here, I guess. Just hasn't been the same, you know, what with the stars all fading out and stuff. Anyways, just wanted to say, you guys are great, and I sure am going to miss having you guys as customers and all that. But I got some good news, though, too. All my stuff, it's all on sale now, and I will throw a little extra there just for you, okay? So, enjoy, and maybe I'll be seeing you guys around, okay? All of Falcon Run's goods are 5% off! Great. Alright, Stardust I don't need. Plus 20! Good God! I have 43, so I can buy... Well, I can sell all this stuff. And buy potions. No, I won't sell. I'll just buy a potion. Or two. Hope presents. Let's give presents to Volfred. All right, the final liberation. You have gained the summit of Mount Elodial for the 7th time. Very few stars remain above to light your way as you await the commencement of the final liberation rite. The lone minstrel finds you clutching the Book of Rites, seeking there, perhaps, some bit of wisdom that has eluded you thus far. Reader, we may not have a chance to speak again after this. I may have to go. I wish to say that I am grateful for having made your acquaintance, and I shall remember you with fondness. I wish you well this night and always. Go forth with glory. Then he looks up and he extends his hand in friendship. You clasp it. You see Ray has joined you. All of your companions are there with her, in fact. Oh, hi, mister. The others, they said they wanted me to join them and come talk to you, so here I am. The scribes are watching us. Tiza wants you to know he has the utmost faith in you. It is strange for me to say, given the circumstances of our meeting, reader, but it has truly been a pleasure. Onward now. Let us achieve our plan. You look upon your fellow exiles, your companions with whom you have withstood the downside, and with whom you shall now conduct this final rite. Begging your pardon, but my time has come. We shall see each other soon. He departs. After this night, the outcome of Volfred's plan, the plan of which you all have been a part, shall be decided, one way or another. For now, all you can do is strive to prevail against your final adversaries, so that one last companion may go free. You rise to join your fellow exiles as the last remaining stars ignite. The final liberation rite of this age shall now commence. The people of the Commonwealth need us. Here we go. All right, time to face turn them all on. No. Time to face a Pyre that has 200 HP.
Look, for one last time, upon the fall of Solium, dear reader. Hear me for one last time. For soon, the few remaining stars shall fade away,
Game hiccup there for a sec.
leaving you stranded there for your remaining days in that forsaken land where you deserve to be. The rabble that you roused here in the Commonwealth shall be put down. The exiles whom you liberated all shall fall in line. But first, let us get on with this last liberation rite.
Yeah,
You
let's.
face none other than yourselves. Each so unlike the glorious Nightwings of yore. 'Tis a shame that one of you shall soon be free, for you deserve each other.
The pyres burn, and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. But before the lone minstrel can concur, as per the custom, not another word. The demon Orlex slowly raises his clawed fingers to his mask. The false Nightwings have arrived at last. Long have I awaited this. My freedom once was stolen from me. Then I was cheated of it here upon this mountaintop. You may now attempt to take it from me once more. He stands there for a moment, silent. Then, Orlex, such a great adversary. He's not a villain, right? Like, he's just trying to get home as he was supposed to, as he earned, and then was betrayed. And he's so bitter and cynical now because of it. But we have to stop him for the sake of the people of the Commonwealth. He's such a good character. Orlek dons his mask and stands prepared. May these damned rites cease forever for the misery which they caused. Nightwings, we shall not meet again after tonight, for the cycle of the rites is all but ended. Thus, I would have your decision. On whose behalf shall you conduct this final liberation rite? The one whom you anoint, or else the exile Orlek shall be returned. Godspeed, reader. You know what is at stake better than I. I have utmost faith in you to make the best decision and conduct this rite with glory. Nightwings, the star's remaining light grows dim. Your decision, please. It is time now to choose who, if anyone among you, shall go free this one last time. The rest of you shall remain in the downside to the end of your days. One by one, you meet the gazes of each of your fellow exiles. Tizo, Volfrid, Ray. Your fellow exiles, your companions, your friends. Together you have come this far, but now the downside and the rights conspire to tear your group apart and disrupt your plan. Prepare to choose this one last time. Yes, for there is no turning back. With but a glance, you reassure your fellow exiles that you know what to do.
One final opportunity for salvation. Too bad for the rest of you.
Alright, let's see what their setups are. The bearer's pyre automatically gains plus 40. He can salute. Rush again right away. Throw the orb at them to banish them. Stun nearby adversaries, making them drop the orb. Okay. There is a chance to return immediately, 15%. Okay. Faster and farther. Gareth can cast his aura. Gareth jumps or sprints. Sprints and jumps without using stamina. Ooh. Mirrored Ray. Ooh. And the Imp, plus 4 quickness. Much faster. Implode. Okay. Their Imp does not have the infinite zipping, thank God. And isn't even level 5. I wonder why. Oh, maybe these guys are a mirror of the levels of your characters, aren't they? Because this is Volfrid's EXP level. Okay, he has 20 glory. Why does he only have 20 glory? Alright, well, we're picking Volfrid. Alright. Long have I dreamt that I might someday see this plan of ours come to fruition. I promise you that I shall make the most of it if we are to prevail. Your choice is cast. As for your other companions, you sense a clarity of thought and purpose in each of them. They stand ready to support Volfrid as well as you.
Who shall lend him support?
Ray.
Ray.
Blessed are the scribes who grant to me and all of us this final chance that we might free our dear friend Volfrid. And Tizo.
Tizo.
Tizo is ready to do whatever it takes to see Volfrid regain his freedom this night.
Now,
Those are to be my adversaries then. And who is it, I wonder, who asserts his will over that group? You sense Orlek searching for you, almost reaching out to you. You, the shadow of the false Nightwings. They are nothing to me, but you who would relinquish your own liberty for sake of them? Strange. It is fitting, then, that I should have to face one such as you. Then Orlek stands at the ready, signaling for his two allies to do the same. By light of dawn, the cycle of the rites shall cease. Let us see if we can finish this ordeal before that time. The sky above begins to shudder. The final liberation rite is about to commence. Tariq. Aye, I am prepared, Celeste. Then let our song this evening shake the stars themselves. Aye, Celeste. Let us make sure of it. Tizo? Tizo fumbles with his mask. Tizo recognizes Orlek and greets him tentatively. It is good to see you. Orlek reaches for his mask in turn. How is the horn? Mended? Tizo indicates his horn has not bothered him for a long time now, and he thanks Orlek for it. Oh, I like this. If you have Tizo with you, he has an extra conversation with him. I like this. Good. A full recovery, then. But it is unfortunate to see you standing there with them, Tizo. Come with us. No questions asked. The proposition seems to catch Tizo off guard. Tizo indicates that he will not abandon his friends or their quest. He seems to be pleading with Orlek to stand down, to listen, to not give in to anger. But Orlek shakes his head. He puts his mask back on. This is something I must do, little one. Tizo dons his mask in turn. He chirps nothing more. Oh, that's such a good, heart-rending conversation. Oh, this game is so good.
Begin. The final chance at liberation for the age.
Oh, right, fast. Whoops. Shit. All right. Oh, shit. Holy crap. Oh, this one's hard. Holy shit. Oh, Volver gets the first hit. Damn. All right. Oh, he was covering the... God damn it.
Woe is you.
All right, Tizo's in.
Crushing blow against their pyre.
The sky rains ash. Soon shall your pyre zone mingle with them. Just then, the skies above begin to rain down fire, the final throes of the cycle of the rites and the ending of the age. I bet you guys will have no problem avoiding it. What?
Alas, foray. How he has changed, that Orlek. Grown old and bitter, lo, these many years.
Oh, damn it. That was my chance. Got it, okay. Ooh, this is hard. You were the Raymonds once again. I could not simply stand by and do nothing, Orlek. Yet that is what you did. When last we stood together on this blasted mountain, I fell, you simply stood. Orlek, what shall it take for you to be convinced I took no part in your betrayal? Orlek seems to consider the question, but only for a moment. Give me my damn freedom. Let me prevail, here and now. Would you promise to uphold our plan, to bring about a better Commonwealth? No, I make no promises. I owe you nothing. Then I am sorry, Orlek. My love of country comes before all else. More than your freedom and our friendship is at stake. Your love be damned, Volfred. Let us stand as adversaries then. This is such a good fucking game.
Tis taken.
They cornered me. Oh, almost.
A mere attempt.
Uh-oh. So, the false Nightwings bear their fangs at last. But that cannot be your finest effort. You think you deserve your freedom more than I? Then fight for it, damn you. Whoops. Didn't mean to use him. Oh! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All of you, you shall rot here. You shall rot as I have all these many years. You false Nightwings, who would deny me once again my rightful liberty. You who deny that liberty to all of the triumvirates you face and vanquish under the guise of the traditions of these blasted scribes. Come, let us continue with this glorious affair. Alright, Tizo's in. Okay, I need 2 more hits. Orlek stands, breathing heavily. He looks back on the thin lick of flame that is his smoldering pyre before turning his attention back to your triumvirate. Made it. Okay, 1 more hit. And I've got Tizo for this final hit. Oh, damn it, I missed. Oh, shit.
Thrust straight into your flame.
Okay, alright. Lore, pause. What do you need me to pause for? trying to think of the best way to tell you this. Is it that I should be jumping more? I did see your message. If you end up losing, don't save scum. Oh, okay. That's all you ask. Okay.
Engulfed within the aura. Oh. Sinners.
Oh, almost had it.
My.
Oh, just short.
The orb. Last.
Got it.
And there it is. At last.
Whew.
The Night Wings proved their worth.
Oh, that was hard.
Rather convincingly, I must admit. Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus...
Oh, Orlek's gonna try to jump in and he's gonna die. Praise the scribes, we've done it. You look upon Volfred for what you expect shall be the last time you see each other. Any moment now, the Shimmer Pool shall engulf him. Any moment now, he shall return to glory and join his agents in the Commonwealth to help achieve the plan. Any moment now, the cycle of the rites shall end until at least the dawn of a new age. Any moment now.
And thus, the scribes have chosen...
Uh-oh.
And thus, the scribes have chosen...
Oh, uh-oh.
And thus, the scribes have chosen... No. Nightwings. Reader. What have you done?
Hold. There's something wrong. Each prior time upon the fall of Solium, the Shimmer Pool has opened, following the liberation rite, and taken in whichever exile prevailed. But now all is still, and the light of the stars above has all but died. You sense a growing fear that it is already too late, and that the Shimmer Pool shall not reveal itself again. Orlek approaches, his head bowed. The 8 scribes saved their greatest treachery for last. Then something else catches his notice. Wait. A sudden rush of starlight cascades through the stillness of the summit. The Shimmer Pool has appeared again. Different somehow, but open. That looks ominous. Volfred looks upon it, but it does not engulf him. Or at least not yet. It seems I was mistaken then. Is it going to take Orlek? The 8 scribes. This is not their greatest treachery. It is their greatest jest. The Shimmer Pool is flung wide open. It seems that all are worthy now of freedom. Oh, hell yeah! Orlek strides toward the Shimmer Pool, but... Halt, Orlek. Orlek glances over at the lone minstrel, almost in surprise. The Shimmer Pool has lost most of its strength. You step inside, and you shall surely drown. Of that I can assure you. He laughs to himself at this. He's going to do it anyway. Then we have all been cheated. No, the Shimmer Pool is revealed, and one of you may still return as planned. But as for who returns, someone shall have to choose. ere the last light of the stars is extinguished and the rites cease to be. This is the final trial of the scribes. Oh boy, are my teammates going to choose me? The final trial of the scribes. Then our confrontation, the liberation rite, it all was meaningless? No, the victor of the confrontation is to be the one to make the choice among those closest to the scribes, either the anointed or he who anointed them. So then, the choice is mine to make. My freedom weighed against the reader's, is that it? Aye, it shall be either you, the reader, or... It shall be either or. Wolfred, please, make your decision quickly, lest it shall be forfeit. I do not know for how much longer the light of the stars shall offer you this gift. A snap decision, then. Fine, I have it made. Reader, my boy, this chance at freedom that we've earned, it's yours. Take it now and make good use of it, for you and all of us. Wolfred wishes to give up his freedom so that you may regain yours. Very well. Reader, sir, the choice which Wolfred made, or rather, the choice which he gave, it is now yours to make instead. This choice, it may keep bouncing back and forth like this. Absurd. It may, until such time as one of you is willing to accept the burden and the outcome of the choice. That is the trial. And I fear that there is little time remaining now. Reader, if you and your companion are too cordial with each other to accept that freedom, either one of you, then I shall gladly take it. Freedom ought to be more than some flirtatious trifle to exchange. Reader, what is your will? Is Orlek an option? Here's a tough choice. Here's a tough choice. I don't think I'm going to choose myself. So it's a choice between Wolfred and Orlek. Orlek has suffered so much. But Wolfred is needed to make the plan come to fruition. I can't... Will you be fair to him when fate was not? Oh! But there's more than just him at stake here. Ooh. Oh, this is a tough choice. This is a toughie. Do I choose one man or the Commonwealth? One man who was betrayed and has suffered because of it, or Wolfred, who can ensure the revolution is a success? There's so much at stake here. There are no good choices here. Like, it's not right to consign Orlek to the downside, but it's also not right to prioritize him over the revolution. Oh, that's right. I would be taking Sandra with me as well. Oh, she's suffered so much too. I've got to free the Commonwealth. I've gotta. Right? Like, I have to free the Commonwealth. He deserves his justice. Oh, this feels bad. I have to free the Commonwealth. I will choose Volfred. Oh, this is a tough decision. This is a tough decision. This is a tough decision. I have to free the Commonwealth. Volfred, you're up. You are decided. You have chosen Volfred. He looks at you with some astonishment. Volfred, sir, do you accept the reader's choice, or shall you make another? Yes, I accept the reader's choice in this. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, my boy. And I'm afraid that I don't know what else to say. Then it is done. You see a look of genuine surprise flash across Volfred's face, and then he is gone. You gave a chance at freedom so that Volfred may yet have his. May he return in glory.
Godspeed, Volfred de Sandalwood. By the scribes, no stars remain aloft. The cycle of the rites. It is finished. The Commonwealth. What shall become of it? What shall become of us?
Something better, I hope.
Nightwings. The opportunity to gain your freedom from the downside. Was it not enough?
No, it was not enough. Everyone's freedom from the downside is what we were fighting for. That night, the exile Volfred returned to the Commonwealth. He was to be the last. The stars had faded, and the cycle of the rites had run its course. He found the Commonwealth in great upheaval. Spurred by the efforts of 6 liberated exiles, Volfred Sandalwood's revolutionary plan had incited the masses. These exiles in the starless sky portended the return of the scribes. The people surged into the streets, shoulder to shoulder. Led by the 6 exiles, their voices shook the heavens. The leadership of the Commonwealth panicked. No blood was shed that night, and by dawn, it was over. The leaders of the Commonwealth had cast themselves back into exile or joined in this new cause. Thus, in its 838th year, the Commonwealth had fallen. The new Saurian Union declared its sovereignty in the next year. Among the changes its elected leaders ushered in, they vowed never to cast their people into exile. And they abolished the old Commonwealth decree forbidding literacy. Fuck yeah! Today, we still remember all of this. And we remember the exiles of the downside, whose deeds led to the dawning of our age, whether they returned or not. Oh no, Sandra could have had the halo around her because it could have sent her back! Oh, man. Oh, and the halo's around these guys because they didn't get to go back. She's someone to learn what become of them since last you met. Ooh, okay. After her liberation, Judario soon became an icon of the movement that led to the collapse of the Commonwealth and the rise of the Saurian Union. Her horns and stern countenance inspired the people to believe that she was solely a Moor reborn. She became a great, if reluctant, leader. In the uncertain times that followed, Jodariel's seasoned expertise often came into play both in matters of security and of state. For instance, she conscripted and trained a team of volunteers in public safety. The community did not know what to make of such a cordial bunch at first, but soon came to value their service. They have stood for the people ever since, and we celebrate their founding day each year. She remained close with Hedwyn all through this experience, and they supported each other through their struggles many, many times. She often had to stop herself from fearing for Ray, whom she had tried to look after as much as possible in the downside. Soon she would reassure herself that Ray was very capable of surviving on her own, and in fact she was not mistaken. She continued training on her own, a regimen that grew stricter with each passing year. There were those who sought to train with her, and she sometimes obliged. There remained one other constant in her life. She would always remember her days among the Nightwings, and with fondness for the most part. Oh, they disappear once you see... I can see Falcon Ron's... Alright, let's see what happened to Falcon Ron. With the rights drawn to a close, the Slug Market's revenues fell precipitously, and Falcon Ron was forced to liquidate his assets and close up shop. Yet, as is sometimes the case with those of an entrepreneurial leaning, this time of hardship led to an epiphany, or at least a sudden change of fortune. One day, Falcon Ron had a run-in with a messenger imp bearing news from the other side. Ron gave to it one of his remaining trinkets which could not be sold. The following week, the messenger imp returned to it, bearing a tidy sum of wealth in newly minted coinage from the Saurian Union. Falcon Ron cut a long-term deal with the messenger imp then and there. Though his trade remained a gray area from a legal standpoint in the Saurian Union, the newfound fame of the downside caused Falcon Ron's goods to explode in popularity. He later signed an elaborate agreement with Big Bertrude's and found a distribution partner on the other side through Rookie Greentail, whose own business had expanded. Especially in the Saurian Union, Falcon Ron's goods are still known for their superior quality, even though he assumes no liability for any side effects. That's cute. I like that you can see that. Alright, Volfred. When Volfred Sandalwood regained his freedom, he knew that his work had only just begun. The nation that had exiled him to life in the downside now prepared to honor him. But he was not interested in such ceremony, nor in freedom on the Commonwealth's own terms. He soon rejoined his agents, with whom he had been coordinating for years, slowly, carefully preparing for a night that soon would come. For Sandalwood and his loyalists and sympathizers, true freedom was at stake, not just theirs, but that of everyone living under the Commonwealth. He hoped to gather liberated exiles representing each of the 8 largest ethnic groups composing the population of the Commonwealth. They would stand together as a vision of the 8 scribes returned, inspiring the masses to embrace an older set of values from before the Commonwealth had tightened its grip. With the rites having ended sooner than expected, this optimal scenario became impossible. But Sandalwood did not relent and prepared to execute his plan, imperfect though it was. On the night of Scribe's return, he stood as one of 6 former exiles of the Nightwings, and their voices echoed together through the streets. Don't you mean 7? This was the 7th liberation rite. These former exiles, who ought have disappeared into the ranks of the Commonwealth's own leadership, now stood united with its people, who poured from their homes in solidarity. It was imperative to Sandalwood that this stand against the Commonwealth be peaceful in its nature. An overwhelming show of popular support would be more than enough. Ensuring this was his priority that night, and in the end, the result was self-evident. The plan's goal had been achieved. Sandalwood's work far from over still. He labored ceaselessly with representatives from across the population to restore a sense of stability. This transitional period had its troubles, though none that were not quickly solved, such was the will and spirit of the people. They understood their freedom carried new responsibility. After the Saurian Union was born the next year, Sandalwood was elected as the nation's first prime minister. It was not his intent to run for this office, but the people chose him anyway. He led our fledgling nation through its nascent years. As Wolfred Sandalwood gained more fame throughout this land for all his sacrifices and his contributions, he remained ever steadfast about two things. The first was that the cause itself ought to remain in focus. The freedom that the people had achieved, it was a gift to be cherished, a set of values that needed to be nurtured. The second point he made was that he himself had little to do with the outcome. He would often praise the exiles of the Nightwings who had stood with him, each in turn by name. He never forgot any of them. One day, on his birthday, the people of the Saurian Union presented to him a monument depicting him and the Nightwings as imagined in their prime. It has since ensured that those of us with memories more fallible than that of Sandalwood likewise remember the achievements of his fellow former exiles and our cause. All right, Pamitha. After regaining her freedom, Pamitha Thane found herself in a difficult position. Having once betrayed her people of the High-Wing remnants, she knew that she would not be welcome in her native home. She did not trust the Commonwealth either. Instead, she found her place among Wolfred Sandalwood's agents, who were busy doing their part to fulfill the plan. As it turned out, the plan was a success. Pamitha Thane stood shoulder to shoulder with her other fellow former exiles, and truly they were a sight to behold. A disturbing rumor later spread that night, the High-Wing remnants were slated to mount an assault, which for some reason never came to pass. Pamitha denied any knowledge or involvement. Afterward, Pamitha played an active part in negotiating terms between the High-Wing remnants and the new nation that would become our Saurian Union. Her previous attempt at something of the sort led to her exile. She must have felt some satisfaction to succeed this time around. Someone with whom she kept in contact was the bog dweller called Big Bertrude. They would discuss all sorts of matters long into the night, and sometimes hunt together too. Sometime later, Pamitha had an unexpected run-in with Rookie Greentail, and they got married, with whom she had spent a fair amount of time while traveling with the Nightwings. Under these new set of circumstances, it turned out the two had more to talk about, and rather more in common. They would often put to test which one was able to outdrink the other. It is unclear as to which one of them prevailed in that contest in the end. One day, Pamitha received an invitation to return to the High-Wing remnants, where she was to be fully pardoned. She held out a hope that she might see her blood sister Tamitha there, knowing full well that Tamitha did not regain her freedom. Tamitha did later learn that Pamitha was welcomed back by their people. However, she never responded to her blood sister's attempts to contact her. Pamitha, in turn, did not expect forgiveness from her at any point. Nonetheless, she kept on trying to reach out, she said, to ruffle up her feathers just a bit. Later, when asked, Pamitha Thane admitted she felt as though she had no home to call her own. This was during an interview conducted amid an extensive trip abroad, for she had traveled thousands of leagues beyond the bounds of the Saurian Union. Pamitha continued to journey thus, citing that it reminded her of when she was younger and could fly unfettered. All right, Bertrude time. After returning to the Commonwealth, the crone known as Big Bertrude promptly returned to the wet climate of her ancestral home in the southern bogs. There, for a time, it appeared that she had distanced herself from any involvement with society or with the plan of which she was a part. We know now that she worked diligently towards the goals outlined by Sandalwood, yet well outside the notice of even those who watched her movements closely. For example, the printed notices spread throughout the streets about the night of Scribe's return were all her doing, yet no one knew until she owned up to it much later. Subsequently, she returned her focus to the sort of work which had preoccupied her for many, many years, both in the downside and in the Commonwealth. And she remotely managed aspects of her business in the downside, ensuring that the exiles who remained there could still get a hold of certain valuables. Much of her effort was doubtless due to the influence of Sandalwood, someone whom she had admired now for decades. He had made clear that he could not requite her feelings for him, but what could have been a hurtful dismissal led only to a deeper understanding between them. She maintained an unlikely kinship with the Hawk, Pamitha Thane, whom she had known during their time together in the Nightwings. They each had different strategies for dealing with life's day-to-day annoyances, a subject that they both found vital, if not fascinating, to no end. Bertrude, most of all, kept busy with her work. The inks and notices which she still brewed and manufactured once were grounds enough for a quick sentence into exile. Back then, the one thing worse than spreading lies about the Commonwealth through speech was doing so in print. Once exposed, such writings all were burned. Now the written point of view is to be honored rather than to be feared, and Big Bertrude remains one of our time's most notable purveyors of this craft. It is quite likely something you have read in recent times would have been put to parchment by her handiwork. Alright, Ray, who did not make it out of the downside. Long after the rites had ended, Ray admitted that she knew well before the fact that she would not be going home again. At least she had a very strong feeling. She ended up not minding very much, because she had little to return to in the Commonwealth. Her sense of home had changed, as I suspected. She took to wandering from one celestial landmark to the next, ever paying homage to the 8 scribes who she believed had influenced all that transpired. She was no stranger to traveling alone, but was always happy to have company. Among her friends, she always remained close with Tizo, who, more so than anyone, could always make her laugh. Though they could not see each other any longer, Ray often thought about Jodariel and spoke to her as though she were there. Ray tried never to make a decision without first consulting her idea of what Miss Jodariel might say. Whenever she felt genuine doubt, which was not very often, she sought out the reader of the Nightwings. If there was anyone whom she trusted as much as the scribes, it was him. One day, she encountered one of her former adversaries, one called Almer Oldheart, who had served the Fate. She remembered him much more than he did her, though only just at first. Their shared experience in the rites and their different points of view about the scribes formed the basis of what grew to be a long-lasting relationship. Happy ending for them. Ray always was devoted to her faith, but more so to her friends. Her gentle manner and unwavering conviction often helped them brave life in the downside, both with courage and with grace. Rookie! After Rookie Greentail earned back his freedom, he returned to a lavish welcome ceremony in the Commonwealth, as was the tendency for liberated exiles. It was everything he could have hoped for, and soon he was well off, surrounded by luxury, and choosing between various exciting opportunities. However, he must have given in to his better judgment, as he did end up siding with Volfred Sandalwood's revolutionary forces, as he promised. On the night of Scribe's return, Greentail was there with the others, inspiring the masses. He never looked prouder, the very image of Jomur Many-Mane himself. Did Jomur have a fancy mustache? When dawn finally came, and it became clear that the Commonwealth that everybody knew would be no more, he realized many new opportunities awaited. He began quite a lucrative career for himself, manufacturing and selling replica merchandise inspired by the downside. His main struggle was to meet demand. An aspect of his conscience cautioned him against making light of such a thing, but the money was too good, and soon his family was as well off as he always said. One of his orders of business was to seek out one of his old companions, Pamitha Thane, to whom he took a liking during their quest for freedom. They bonded further over love of drink and supported one another through uncertain times that lay in store. He also kept in close touch with Gilman, ever the perfect practice partner. They would train together often, taking care to stay in tip-top shape as much as possible throughout the years. Greentail always did his best to keep in touch with all his many friends, and knew that he owed his fortunes to them. He made a special point of staying close with the group of friends he came to know so well during his time with the Nightwings, wherever they were. They shared a special understanding that put even Greentail at a loss for words sometimes. Hedwyn. After his liberation, Hedwyn was instrumental in the events leading to the fall of the Commonwealth and was vital to the outcome of the plan. I hope he found his girlfriend again. The peaceful outcome of the scribe's return was attributed to several key factors. One of them was the underlying ambition of the plan itself. Another was Hedwyn's visibility among the people in the streets. Identified to be a liberated exile, he was believed to be Gold Golathanian reborn. More importantly, however, was that one of the winged harps of the high-winged remnants accompanied him. She was later identified as Fakani Shang. Aw, he did find his girlfriend. Their bond was symbolic of what was at stake that night, and proved vital to the peace that followed. In all his days as a leader in the Saurian Union, Hedwyn oft confided in his friend Jodariel. Despite her intense manner, there was no one whom he trusted more in times when circumspection was required. Hedwyn would often think back about the vow he made at the beginning of his quest for freedom. Although he cherished all the friendships he made, he had pledged to Jodariel, Rookie Greentail, and the Reader of the Nightwings that they might all be free again together. He had broken that vow, for, in the end, not all of them were able to return. A terrible guilt over this darkened his mood for a time. However, the others whom he still knew lifted his spirits, much like he had often lifted theirs. All of the Nightwings knew the stakes. While the others who stood with the Nightwings were not all able to remain in contact thus, Hedwyn thought of each of them often, and so, in turn, did they oft think of him. Alright, Gilman next. When the worm Gilman returned to the Commonwealth, he believed that he had regained something even more important than his freedom, his honor. Oh, peppy Gilman music. Gilman relinquished his knighthood and declined an opportunity to serve as captain on the Blood Border. He was not interested in fighting any longer. Yet, as is sometimes the case with those such as he, a circumstance soon came about in which there came a need for him to once again make use of his military training. Thankfully, however, the scribe's return ended peacefully. Gilman was on edge throughout that night, expecting violence to erupt at any moment, but the moment never came. When the matter was at last put to rest, then Gilman truly knew his time as a knight had ended. He declared to all those in earshot that he would never fight again. Unless, of course, there arose some other extraordinary set of circumstance, again requiring him to fight, but he certainly hoped not. He still trained regularly, just in case, especially with his fleet-footed friend, Rookie Greentail. From time to time, he would seek guidance from one of his former comrades, Big Bertrude, much his elder, and a wellspring of perspective on his life decisions. He was always grateful for having studied under the Reader of the Nightwings, without whom he would never have completed his penance. Because of this, and perhaps because they were on opposite sides of the world now, Gilman dedicated his life to him. By that point, he had long forgotten about his days under the leadership of Sir Deluge, his former commander. Breaking free of his abusive leadership was his first step toward gaining a bit of self-respect. Gilman never did return to his homeland of the Sea Dominion, and was content to lead a monastic life on a small residence in the hills. It was just high up enough to make him keep striving to conquer his fear of heights. Aww. Other than that, an intense daily training regimen and the occasional visit from an old companion was more than enough to keep him optimistic and engaged. He knew by then that honor was not something to be won, but a contract with oneself to be renewed each day. Aw, good for Gilman. Tizo! Once the rites had ended, the imp Tizo had a job to do, quite unlike most exiles trapped forever in the downside. The lone minstrel asked that he watch over the Black Wagon, which the Nightwings had used extensively for travel and for shelter all throughout their quest. Tizo obliged, for he knew that wagon, as well as its drive imp inhabitants, perhaps better than anyone. Did Bray and the Reader not take the wagon? Did we have to leave it behind and wander? What became of the wagon exactly was never verified as evidence of Tizo's thorough work. After that, he liked to while away his days with any of his friends, or else with fellow imps. He would visit his friend Ray at every opportunity. She was among the few who could consistently interpret what he meant, and they were always close since first they met. Volfred Sandalwood would sometimes send him little gifts all the way from the downside. Despite the insurmountable distance between them, their friendship proved more than resilient. He often chirped about the Reader of the Nightwings, with whom he built quite a rapport. The Reader understood him perhaps better than anyone. Indeed, Tizo would often express wistful gratitude for all his time with the Nightwings and their many adventures throughout the land that was always his home. Other than that, Tizo would sometimes help interpret for messenger imps, relaying news to and from the Saurian Union. Despite having gained significant celebrity abroad, he never let it go to his head. And he would go fishing in the Sea of Solace at every single chance he got. After the cycle of the rites ceased turning, records of what happened to the Black Wagon of the Nightwings became inconclusive and contradictory. Some accounts suggest that the exiles of the Nightwings, who remained in the downside, continued to make use of the Black Wagon as their place of shelter and their means of travel. However, there is no record of what happened to the wagon's contents, such as the Book of Rites or the Beyonder Crystal, said to be haunted by the apparition Sandra the Unseeing. One possibility is that, when the lone minstrel took his leave, he took the Beyonder Crystal with him, for he was thus obliged. No, I kept it. By this line of reasoning, however, the Black Wagon itself should have been taken also. Others remained skeptical that the Beyonder Crystal ever existed, or rather that the visions that it granted were anything other than the result of an active imagination or a fever dream. The bog dwellers of the southern bogs offer still another explanation, for they are familiar with binding enchantments. If there existed such an object, in which the Sisters of the Arch had been expelled for more than 800 years, then the enchantment could have expired along with the light of the stars. What this would have meant for Sandra and the Beyonders is difficult to say for certain, other than it may have meant that they were finally released. Nevertheless, the fates of Sandra and the Beyonder Crystal remain unknown. Yet those exiles of the Nightwings who claimed to have seen this apparition all spoke of her with degrees of reverence, or perhaps a little fear. Well, that's disappointing. I wanted to... Can you believe this, reader? Honestly. Sandra has appeared before you, as well you can see. They are so far from the mark with all this nonsense. I am wont to laugh. In fact, here goes. She laughs. She is referring to the account of her. You sense she does not care for it. Well, let them gossip all they like. I merely wish that they would mention you, at least in passing, when next they are at it. Though they shall never know even the half of it, shall they? Sandra seems irritated by the incomplete account of what happened to her. It could have been worse, or making some light of the situation will make Sandra feel better. You indicate to Sandra that the real truth of what happened between you would, perhaps, make too lascivious a tale to be told in such a format. She makes a bemused sound at this. Perhaps that story ought to get out then. To think that they would go to all the trouble to make literacy accepted once again, only to print such drivel. Anyway, let us keep going, lovely reader. We know the truth of it. That is what matters. She fades into the Beyonder Crystal, for now, and you took it away, safe. I'm glad that that little Sandra and reader combination dialogue happened. After the cycle of the rites ceased turning, the lone minstrel bade the remaining Nightwings take the Black Wagon and seek their fortunes elsewhere in the downside. Their parting was heartfelt but brief. He remained there at the summit of Mount Elodial with Celeste, where the two of them would chronicle the final outcome of the cycle. Neither Tariq nor Celeste were ever seen again. We know all of this now through song attributed to them. Some claim these songs originated in the taverns of the Saurian Union and merely were imbued with the weight of folklore. However, exiles liberated from the downside corroborated each other's claims at having met this duo that presided over the liberation rites. Another folktale suggests these minstrels were heralds of the scribes. Having fulfilled their obligations, they departed the world we know and rejoined their patrons. One of their famous songs describes another, simpler outcome, that the two gave up their duties to the rights in favor of a life that they could share together. In any case, they are likely to remain the subject of such verses and such songs, for it was they who watched over the rights and ushered in our times. Alright, bottom to top. As the cycle of the rights drew to a close, it grew evident that a chance at freedom from the downside had forever slipped from Dalbert and Almer Oldheart's grasp. Thus they and the exiles of the Fate returned to Jomur Valley. There they struggled to get by, as exiles of the downside tend to do. Sometime after the rights had ended, the Oldhearts at last heard the news that the Commonwealth had fallen. This was well after the fact, of course, but it brought old Dalbert great joy. Despite his forthright manner, he had no love for the nation that had cast him down along with his son. Dalbert Oldheart passed peacefully in his sleep before the next new moon. Oh. In his final days, he implored his son to undertake a pilgrimage to the scribes. Almer never shared his father's view of the scribes, but respected Dalbert's wishes, and so, after a period of mourning, Almer began a new journey. One day, during his travels, he ran almost headlong into another exile after paying homage at the spring of Jomur. He was stunned to find out that this was none other than the one he knew as Ray from their days as adversaries in the rights. Ray was overjoyed to see him, though Almer was unable to bring himself to understand why. Eventually, of course, he did, and they remained together, growing ever more accustomed to their new lives in the downside. Not a day went by that Almer Oldheart did not think about his father and give thanks to him and speak to him at morning and at night. Would that the stars yet shone, for surely Dalbert's would be there among them, smiling down at his son and watching over him and his kin. I'm actually kind of happy that Ray stayed in the downside, because she and Almer became partners and lived together and had a happy ending together. After the final liberation rite, Lendl refused to believe that the rites had truly ended. He would sit through night after consecutive night, staring into the blackness of the sky, awaiting any kind of sign that he might gain another chance at freedom. No such sign ever came. His fellow accusers started to express concern for him. Survival had become their top priority once liberty had slipped from their grasp. But Lendl dismissed them as weak fools. He insisted, rather forcefully, that any evening now the stars would shine for him again and mark the way toward his inevitable freedom. He was, of course, mistaken. The others in his triumvirate were left with little choice but to abandon him. After that, the exile known as Lendl the Liar was never seen again. However, there have since been sightings of a bedraggled demon who wanders the downside and bears Lendl's cruel countenance, suggesting he yet lives. Alright. All his life, Sir Deluge had fled from one danger, only to find himself facing another. He had escaped the war-torn waters of the Sea Dominion. He had escaped the blood border of the Commonwealth, and now he had escaped the rights. After the rites had ended, many exiles wrapped up in the ancient test were crestfallen, as their last chances to return to their homes vanished, along with the stars above. But Deluge did not mind, for this outcome meant that, at last, there was no burden of responsibility weighing down on him. While most of his fellow exiles of the Pyre hearts yet longed for the waters of the Sea Dominion, driven as ever by their impulses toward conflict, Deluge settled down. With him remained one of his companions, one Lady Seagrass, who had taken a liking to him for some reason. Reportedly, they disappeared into the waters of Worm Gulf, which may begin to explain the significant increase in worm population observed in the vicinity. Okay, he got a happy ending. Good for him. Well, time to see what happened with Ishlock. After the cycle of the rites had ceased, Witch Udmildi returned to the Flagging Hands region, where she sealed herself within the pit of Milite. There, even her fellow exiles of the Withdrawn allegedly grew unnerved after a time, and left her to her vile work. Sometime later, the pit of Milite erupted into flame. So intense was the conflagration that it could be seen all the way from Jomure Valley. Arson was suspected, though the cause was never verified, and many bog dwellers in the region were forced to flee. A tempest blowing from the north finally quenched the flames. When at last the ashes settled and the grounds had cooled, the site of the fire was scarred beyond recognition. No trace of witchwood mildew could be found. As for the contents of the pit of Milite, which notably included a profane object thought to be the remains of Ishlock, all of it was gone as well. Back in the Saurian Union, Udmilde's repeated threats of the return of Ishlock were thoroughly investigated, and no credence was found to any of her claims. Good. Rot in obscurity. Oh, my head. I need to breathe for a minute. I've been reading intensely. Barker Ashpaws never had much interest in returning to the Commonwealth, for he always found its bylaws to be stifling. So, when the rites ended, he did not care, at first. He soon grew very bored. The rites had given his life a certain sense of structure he had always needed. He missed the raw anticipation of it all. He decided to continue conducting the rites, for the thrill of it. He bent some of the rules and replaced some of the objects, but it was close enough. His packmates, the dissidents, proved more than happy to participate, and thus they ran against each other back in Jomure Valley. Gradually, other exiles familiar with the rites, as well as those who had not heard of it at all, started to take an interest. They ended up giving Barker Ashpaws some healthy competition. His old feud with Rookie Greentail ceased meaning anything to him, and he forgot all about it amid his new pursuits. So he started a sports league. Good for him. Ultimately, even Barker Ashpaws, who had led such a directionless existence to that point, found something of a calling through the rites. Whether he took the rites less seriously than any other exile of his time, or more, was oft debated by those who watched him work. All right, Tamitha. Throughout her exile, Tamitha Thane was motivated by a single goal, to return to the Commonwealth and exact vengeance on her ancient enemies. When she realized the rites had ended and that she would never see her home mountain home again, she nonetheless remained determined to aid her people however possible. She had gathered certain information pertaining to the intentions of the Nightwings, who had formed a pact to regroup on the other side after their liberation. Other such reports exposed certain weaknesses in the Commonwealth defenses and revealed to the High-Wing remnants the opportunity for a risky but potentially impactful strike. As Tamitha could not participate in the assault, she learned what happened well after the outcome. On that night, known as the Scribe's Return, the Commonwealth had fallen. The High-Wing remnants thus prevailed, at last, without even having to fight. Soon after the fall of the Commonwealth, Tamitha learned her blood sister, Pamitha, was an accessory to the successful outcome. Tamitha was very skeptical of this, but as similar reports kept mounting, she soon accepted the prevailing opinion, however grudgingly. Once, a messenger imp arrived bearing some sort of message, seemingly from Pamitha. However, Tamitha turned it away. She would not give in to an impulse to forgive. Knowing that the conflict on the other side had ended, Tamitha retreated to the crags of Black Basin and grew ever more distant. Those closest to her surmised that her inability to reconcile with her blood sister was at the heart of this, though, for her part, Tamitha never once admitted to any such weakness. All right, Manly Tinderstoff. When Manly Tinderstoff realized the rites had ended and that he no longer could return to the Commonwealth through this ancient means, he was outraged. He cursed the scribes, spewing forth such a slew of blasphemy as to be very unbecoming of one of his high status and bearing. When at last he calmed himself, he focused all his energies on attempting to find another means of homecoming. He maintained regular contact with his wealthy family on the other side via messenger imp and used their vast resources to explore other means of escape. He tried using an elaborate pulley system. He attempted to retrofit a flying black wagon with superior propulsion. He tried an imp raft, a hot air balloon, even prayer. Nothing worked. there was only one way to escape the downside, and now it was gone. Tinderstoff bankrupted his family in these vain attempts. At last, such was his shame that he retreated to the teeming woods of Black Basin to Cinderroot. There he yet wallows, complaining to his comrades of the chastity who still put up with him, either about his own misfortune or the latest news from the other side. Get fucked. Alright, Ignorius. Once it became clear to Ignorius that the rites were drawing to a close, he knew that it was time for him and the Tempers to call it quits. But first, he and the Tempers decided to celebrate, and that they did, for many, many nights. The revelry did eventually subside. The exiles parted amicably and went their separate ways. He roamed the downside then, searching for some meaning in his life, sometimes taking odd jobs requiring his brute strength. He never remained alone for very long, and took on many lovers in his time. However, he sometimes thought about one he had called Curlyhorns and what became of her. Do he and Jodariel get together if he escapes and if he escapes the downside and so does she? Though his glory days as the most powerful conductor of the rites had long since passed, he always enjoyed the fearsome reputation he had cultivated at that time. Alright, Oralek, what happened with you? They do, yes, he mellows out and they hit it off. Good for them. Also, if they're both still in the downside, good for them. I'm sad that they didn't get together in this timeline, but oh well. After the Shimmer Pool closed for what would be the last time, Oralek looked around him in the flickering light of the Nightwing's still burning pyre. He then turned to the Fall of Solium and looked up toward the black, starless sky. Oh no, does he commit suicide? He cursed the 8 scribes, then one after the other. After that, he strode forward towards the waters coursing from the side of Mount Elodial, and, without hesitating, he cast himself down. Oralek's body was never recovered. Oh, that fucking sucks. The drop from Mount Elodial does not appear survivable, though Oralek did survive it once. That time, however, he was filled with fury. Such was the betrayal he had suffered when his fellow exile claimed his rightful freedom. This time, Oralek was filled with nothingness, and chose to leave the downside in the one way he still knew he could. The other Nightwings, who were witness to this, never forgot what they saw. Oh, that sucks! There is one more account which warrants mention. Yeah, me! What happened to me? The Nightwings conducted the rites under the guidance of a reader. Little is known of him. However, some accounts of him begin to paint a picture. We know he was of common birth, weak-framed, though raised with a penchant for learning. The journey to the downside left him close to death. It was then that the Nightwings found him. They brought him from the brink. He showed them the path. He pressed onward with the others. He had made a vow to help his friends be free. Thus did the cycle of the rites commence its final turns. When the final rite arrived, the reader's freedom was at stake. In the end, however, he remained in exile. From that point on, accounts of him diverge. It is said the voice which troubled him he never heard again. Some say he sailed across the Sea of Solace, though whether that is true, only he knows. Sandra knows. Someday, perhaps, that reader's own star shall emerge. Then it shall pierce the dark of night in all its brilliant glory. Until such time, and ever after, all of us give thanks. What a good-ass game! Oh man, that game was so good. That game was so good. This is my second favorite Supergiant game. Like, Hades is obviously number one. Like, there's no dispute there. But this is my second favorite Supergiant game. Like, I'm not too big on Bastion. I hated the gameplay of Transistor, although the story was good. And I like this better than both of those. The gameplay was fun. and the characters were great, and the story was great, and all the interactions were great. I love this game. This is really good. Solid 9 out of 10.
We sing of the last of the night.
I am starving. I'm gonna eat something after I get off the stream. Maybe I'll have this muffin now while I'm waiting for the credits to go.
Headwind prevailed and strode the
Oh, it's singing about them.
that his heart laid before him. He has found his way home. Captain Joe
That's cute.
mother to many a foundling. She has found her way home. Rookie Greentail has proved his worth and returned to his family by the grace of the scribes. They follow the stars, bound together, strands in a braid till the end.
The moon-touched girl feels the scribe
Oh, that's so cute.
outside.
That's so cute.
She remained to the end.
That's super cute. I like that.
Ever faithful to the cause of the night wings. He remained to the end.
Sir Gilman the Bold, ever in his quest, finding honor and glory, he has found his way home.
I like that this has different lyrics depending on who went home.
Haveth the thing,
The choices this game makes you make are really impactful.
scribe seeking only forgiveness. She has found her way home.
And I really like that. You have a knack for picking games that have really impactful choices, JoJo. This wasn't as stressful as Disco Elysium's, but
Strands in a braid till the
Dalbert was the voice and Lendl. And Bertrude? And Ignorius.
Alfred prevailed as the night wings guide, having led them to glory. He has found his way home.
All these shots are so cute.
Made her rivals pay with the darkest of curses. She has found her way home.
The reader at last made the night wings whole, having bound them together. He remained till the end.
They follow the stars, bound together. Strands in a
Come on, show me a group shot of everybody being cute.
They follow the stars, bound together. Strands in a
Hey, there we go.
till the end.
And there's the video thumbnail.
Now at the end, as we bid farewell and return to the stars, We shall find a way home. We shall find our way home. We shall find our way home.
Yes, we What have we here? A library no longer burning. Ah. Oh, that's good. The end. What a good-ass game. True Nightwing campaign mode unlocked. What is that? Hardest difficulty, super hard mode. Well, I'm probably not going to manage that. Okay, so I have some questions. If you fail any of the liberation rites, does the revolution not happen? Like, if any of the adversaries makes it home instead of one of the Nightwings, does the revolution fail? Features like everything available in the shop from the beginning. Ah, cool. 6 to 7 wins, best ending. 2 to 5 wins, violent revolution, but you win in the end. Ooh. Zero to 1 wins, revolution loses, but the bird faction shows up and breaks everything and you rebuild after. Oof. I'm glad I got the best ending. There's also a way to save Orlek. I assume by sending him back, right? At the last rite of the game, you must lose to the true Lightwings, letting Orlek give you the right to choose between you and him to leave the downside, which is the only way to guarantee that if he stays in the downside, he won't kill himself. Oh! Damn! Oof. Which is why it's 6 to 7 wins getting the best ending and not just getting all of them. Man, what a good game. What a good game. He was denied a choice last time. This time you let him have that choice, which is what stops him falling into despair. Poor Orlek. Man, what a good game. I'm glad I got to play this game. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me play this game. Watching me butt my head against a game without using throw or jump. I'm sure that was frustrating to watch. Oh, let's look at the trophies I haven't gotten. There are 20 left. Using Volfred deal 200 pyre damage. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Suffer defeat in a liberation rite. Unlock every chapter in the Book of Rites. Prevail in a rite with 3 or more Titan Stars active, 6 or more Titan Stars active, with all 12 Titan Stars active. Prevail in a rite using Jodariel and Pamitha. How do you do that? Don't they refuse to play with each other? Complete a versus mode. Ah. Versus mode CPU opponent. Prevail in a rite against a CPU opponent while you have less than 10 pyre health. Use the white loot to play a tune? Huh. Prevail in a rite against a master level CPU opponent. Excuse me. During a rite, douse the adversary's pyre by 40 health or more. Fling the orb at an adversary, then banish them within 2 seconds. Ooh, that would have been useful. If they're on the team long enough, they get over it. Ah. Yeah, there's lots of replay value in this to see their interactions with each other if you pick different people to send home first. Prevail at the Isle of Kilmer using Tizo and Messenger Imp. Oh, in versus mode. Okay. Prevail using Volfred, Tizo, and Orlek versus mode. You can use Orlek in versus mode? Huh. Ruki, Barker, and Dalbert. You unlock all the enemy units to use? Cool. Sandra, Tamitha, and Undmildy. You unlock Sandra for the versus mode? That's awesome. Prevail against a master CPU opponent with 6 or more Titan Stars active. Versus mode with default masteries. Well, I don't think I'm going to replay the game anytime soon. But, I might go for the platinum at some point. Got the oops all dog trophies by accident. Ha! Alright, well, that's going to be it for today. You have all the enemy players in versus mode from the beginning. It even tells you, hey, spoiler warning for the campaign. Oh, cool. That's going to be it for today. I may get back on in a bit and do Metroid Prime Remastered. I actually probably will. But that'll be it for today. JoJo will get together and figure out a time to add those 2 hours to. I might do it an extra hour on the next 2 4-hour streams I owe you. But we'll hash that out. So I'm going to read off my schedule and then get off and have something to eat. And then we'll play some Metroid Prime Remastered. So, upcoming. Tomorrow, we're going to be playing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney at 1 p.m. EST for a patron. Tuesday will be Advance Wars Reboot Camp for a patron. Wednesday will be Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward for a patron. Thursday, I have a doctor's appointment at 3 p.m., so I won't have an afternoon stream. I may do one in the evening, or I may just chill out. I don't know. Friday, I don't have anything scheduled, so that'll be one of my floating games. Either Metroid Prime Remastered, if I haven't finished it by then, or Final Fantasy II. Next Saturday will, of course, be our weekly Final Fantasy XIV stream. And then next Sunday will be the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky for a patron at 1 p.m. EST. So, for now, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next time.